When my sister stole my fiancé, it felt like my entire world shattered in a single night. The betrayal cut deeper because it didn't come from a stranger, it came from family, the one person I had trusted most. I still remember that evening vividly. The engagement dinner, the laughter, the toasts, and the way she looked at him when she thought no one was watching. I ignored it at first, convincing myself I was being paranoid, that she was just being friendly. But 2 weeks later, he stopped answering my calls, canceled our wedding plans, and disappeared. Then, one morning, I saw the announcement online. My sister and my fiancé were engaged. The same ring, the same date, the same venue. My mother tried to calm me down, saying, "Maybe it's fate." But fate doesn't stab you in the back. People do. I walked away from the chaos, refusing to let their betrayal define me. I moved to another city, built a small design business from the ground up, and poured every ounce of my pain into success. The first few months were brutal, but something in me hardened and healed. I learned to smile again, not because life got easier, but because I refused to give my sister and him the satisfaction of my misery. Years passed, and my company grew beyond what I ever imagined. I stopped following their lives, at least until one day fate, that strange thing my mother once mentioned, brought them back to me. I was invited to a corporate gala by one of my clients, a major real estate firm, to discuss a collaboration. When I arrived, my heart nearly stopped. There she was, my sister, standing near the entrance, dressed in an expensive gown that couldn't hide the exhaustion on her face. Beside her, the man who once swore to love me looked hollow, aged, his charm long gone. They hadn't noticed me yet, so I took a seat and waited. The night carried on, and eventually, the CEO announced a new design partner for their upcoming luxury project. My company's name lit up the screen behind him. The applause was thunderous. When I walked up to the stage, I finally caught my sister's eyes. Her face turned pale, shock flooding every feature. After the ceremony, she approached me, pretending to smile, pretending that nothing had happened. "I didn't know you were doing so well," she said, her voice trembling. I simply replied, "You never asked." What followed came out of her in a flood of regret. How their marriage had fallen apart, how his company went bankrupt, how she'd lost the house, the cars, even her so-called friends. She said she had come to the gala hoping to convince the CEO to hire her for freelance work. I listened quietly, not out of cruelty, but because part of me still couldn't believe this was real. The girl who once mocked me for being too soft, now stood broken, desperate for a chance. She finally said, with tears in her eyes, "I'm happy for you." It sounded sincere, maybe for the first time in her life. I nodded, not gloating, just at peace. "You see," I said gently, "what you take by betrayal never stays with you. It leaves the same way it came." She lowered her gaze, and for a moment, I saw the sister I once loved, buried under years of greed and pride. As I walked away, I realized that revenge hadn't brought me this calm, growth had. Life had handled the justice I couldn't. Later that night, standing on my penthouse balcony overlooking the city lights, I thought about how much had changed in 4 years. Pain had been my teacher, silence my shield, and success my closure. My sister had lost everything she took from me, but I had gained something far greater, myself.